I'm Mandy Yarkich from Creative Matters, and you're listening to Creative Matters on Air, where I have conversations with new and established artists from around New Zealand. I love to listen to artists' stories and learn about their creative process, and maybe you do too, which is why I've made this podcast, to inspire, inform and educate. I hope you can take away something positive and encouraging from each of these amazing stories to help you on your own creative journey. Welcome to Creative Matters Episode 7. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm talking to Catrina Lloyd. Catrina is an abstract painter and a mother of 2 boys living at Muriwai Beach, northwest of Auckland. She has a passion for interpreting the many layers of her natural environment, where she sees endless paintings, textures, colours, lines, shapes, light and movement, all through the mighty energy of the west coast of New Zealand. I absolutely love talking to Catrina today, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy listening. She tells us all about her process and her practice, which is incredibly involved and has many different layers. And it was beautiful to hear her speaking of her dad and the contribution he's made and the gift he's given her, really, for her art going forward. So sit back, grab a wine or a cup of tea. Hope you enjoy. Welcome to Creative Matters on Air, Catrina. It's so nice to have you here. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's really good to be here. I love hanging out in your lounge and looking at all your beautiful artwork.
Thanks. Yeah. Tanya calls it the Creative Matters headquarters.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
It's where all the thinking happens.
Yeah, lots of eye candy.
Yeah. It's nice to have you here. I know you've had a lot on at the moment, so just tell us, what have you been up to?
Lately, I have been working on a little body of work for the Art Form Gallery in Matakana, and so just dropped that off the other day, and that was showing last weekend, so that felt good to have that done. Yeah. And really just trying to get some momentum going with my painting. You know, there's lots of interruptions in life, especially at the moment, and with the lockdowns and having young kids and school holidays and sick kids, and I just, just wanting to have a good run, I guess. And so I have had a good run, but I've perhaps overdone it. Yeah.
Common thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just go back to the beginning. We can explore all of that stuff a bit later. Sure. So can you tell us about where you were born, what kind of childhood you had, and if you were showing creative tendencies?
I was born in Lower Hutt, and we moved when I was about 3.5 to Pukekohe, and then we moved again another 3.5 years later to the North Shore. I lived in a couple of different places on the North Shore, and so probably the bulk of my growing up was, I'm a shore kid, I guess.
From where? I'm a shore kid too.
Milford.
Oh, I lived in Milford.
Did you? And Birkenhead. Yeah, those were the 2 main places.
And so what schools did you go to?
I went to St. Joseph's Primary in Pukekohe and Takapuna, and I went to Carmel College. But we weren't a Catholic family, but Mum and Dad chose the Catholic family route. Yeah, they liked the small schools, and I think Mum liked the fact that I was in a uniform and
single sex.
Not so much that, just not stressing her out about my outfits. It was a practical choice.
I love it.
She's going to love that one.
Did you have outfit things? Were you a bit obsessed with outfits?
Oh, yeah. I think from a very young age, I found it a way to express myself, for sure. I just loved it. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, just couldn't get enough of colour and pattern and wearing, and the theatrics of clothes and, a lot of little girls, I guess.
Yeah. Can you remember your favourite crazy outfits?
There's quite a few. Nothing in particular. I do recall that I used to steal my mum's clothes and wear them at school on Mufti Day.
Cool.
Because I was always looking for new material to create a different outfit. And, I'm not sure if she knows that one. Probably does.
So did you sneak it out of the house and put it in your
Yeah,
school bag?
yeah, and then I'd get changed
Really?
at school into a different.
Love it. And were you like deconstructing the outfits or just wearing her dresses?
Oh no, deconstructing totally. Yeah, yeah. I can remember a layered number with some of her like culottes. I don't know how I managed to pull it off with the size difference, and like a mesh singlet over the top of a t-shirt, which the mesh singlet I wasn't really allowed to wear. It was a bit rough, and yeah. So anyway, it's
so
just something I'd completely forgotten until
I
now.
love it.
Yeah,
that's a good story. Okay, so you know, as you were growing up, were you, apart from the outfits,
oh yeah,
were you doing kind of makey things?
I always like to spend a lot of time on my own in the garden. Yeah, the garden was definitely a place where I think I just found my peace, and a good sort of creative outlet because I'd play a lot with materials from the garden. Yeah, and I was fascinated with plants. So I can remember obsessing over the fern when I found in the centre of it a baby koru, which is white and looks and furry and just looks so different. And I just remember discovering that, and it would pretty much take my breath away. So cool. It was that sort of thing that it was a happy time by myself in the garden. Yeah.
And were you actually making things or just observing?
I used to make a lot of potions, and as a kid I did a little bit I loved drawing and painting, but there wasn't a lot of that going on in our house. I was really into cooking. I got into cooking at a pretty young age. That was a big creative outlet for me. The moment I was allowed to get in the kitchen was a good day. Yeah.
And that kind of leads on from the potion making in the garden.
For sure, yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it? So you were kind of noticing textures and things from a really early age, which you still do now, don't you? Colours.
Colours and textures, yeah.
So what happened from the garden potions?
Well, like I said, I got into cooking, and art-wise, I think was really more when I got to secondary or intermediate, where we had that more available to us. I can recall doing a bit of drawing at school, and at primary school, and I could never stay on the page. My scale was too big. And I remember just feeling really excited about the drawing module, but sort of a bit frustrated at the fact that I seemed to be the only one that couldn't keep my pictures on the page. So
that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's actually kind of relevant to me now. I can sort of see that my scale needs to be big. I need a bigger boundary.
So you have trouble still drawing within a smaller space, kind of thing.
Yeah, it affects the way that I work. Yeah, it's just something I've been learning recently. But and then my parents were both very creative people. My mother was a graphic artist, and very creative in everything she did. And so it was around me, but we sort of didn't get stuck into it at home.
It was encouraged, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of, we just kind of, my parents were always supportive, but it wasn't sort of something that we did a lot at home, It was an intermediate that I think I can remember really getting into it. And then I had a big boost of confidence because I got the second prize in an international art competition.
Wow.
And it went on the news or top half and in the newspaper. So I got all this attention. Some of it was not the greatest attention.
Really?
Yeah, that's another story. And
I'd love to hear that story.
But also my art teacher in intermediate thought I was great. So she helped boost my confidence. And she was on the news too, so it was all like this big. Yeah.
Was that Takapuna and Normal intermediate?
No, that was Carmel.
I was part of Carmel. Yeah. I went to Takapuna and Normal.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
And Westlake Girls. So, what was the prize? I mean, what was the project?
It was I can't remember what the brief was, but I drew a picture of my dream my dreamscape. And I can't remember, like I said, what the brief was, but that's what I came up with. And I mean, I honestly don't think it was the most amazing picture, but anyway, I got the prize.
And was that abstract? Or?
It was quite surreal. Yeah, it was sort of, me actually floating up into a scape, and dreams have always been a big thing for me. I think that's probably why I went straight to that subject matter. It probably did have quite a good little surrealist vibe going on. Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you felt like you could draw growing up?
Yeah, it's something that I had a confidence in. Yeah. And to be honest, I struggled with quite a lot of stuff at school, but that was an area where I felt more free, more confident, and I got a lot of pleasure from. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's your happy place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then going through high school, and what happened then with your art?
I followed all the art subjects because that was, a strength and a passion of mine. And, I did art and design and art history, and Carmel didn't have some of the modules that they have, that they had. I think they're a lot better now. But I hit 6th or 7th form, and then I started to really struggle with the curriculum requirements for judging art. And it was actually kind of quite a challenging time because I'd sort of discovered a whole new way of wanting to paint and make marks. And the teachers were just sort of going, you probably fail if you go down this path. And I was so frustrated. And, we had a little bit of conflict around it. And I just, I think I got reasonable marks, nothing outrageously good, but I couldn't understand that art was to be judged in that way, that art of all things was to be judged where you're not allowed to find your natural way with it. Yeah.
So did you actually do the mark making, or did you do what the teachers suggested?
I attempted to, but I went way off track from what was required. And I think what I was doing suffered as a result. So I was kind of caught in the middle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did that put you off for a little while?
No, it made me want to go down that path even more. So I went to see the careers counsellor, is that what we were at school, and so asked her about, I wanted to go to Elam or to fine arts, to study the fine arts, and she sort of suggested that maybe I get into design because, I'd probably just end up being a gallerist was pretty much my only option if I did a fine art degree, which I thought was quite strange that it wasn't even talked about that I could be an artist. So I actually applied to Elam, and I ended up doing spatial design at AUT, which in the first year was art and design intermediate, where you do everything. But I applied to Elam, and they got back to me and said I was on a short list. So if I went away and studied something related for a year and came back, then I'd pretty much guaranteed a spot. And so I did that, but I didn't go back. I kind of just got a bit, I got preoccupied, I guess. Yeah.
With the other course you were doing?
Oh, yeah, and just with, I think I probably should have taken some time off and just worked or travelled or, mucked around.
So was it a 1 year course at AUT?
The first year, art and design intermediate was 1 year, spatial design's 3 years.
And you did that?
I chose spatial design, and it was a big mistake for me. I just recall trying to turn every project into something that was painting related, and really I think I just sort of lost my way.
And why didn't you go to Elam then?
I really don't know. Like, I lost connection with my passion or what I was doing. I sort of lost my focus, and I have it now. But I definitely, I had no choice. It's something that would never leave me alone.
Yeah. It was knocking on the door all the way through.
Yeah.
So the spatial design, did you feel like it was a choice that was going to put you in good stead for the career?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. I had an interest in interiors, but really I probably could have done an interior design degree, but I really didn't know what I was doing. I struggled with the tech modules, there's the CAD stuff. It was just a bit slow going for me, and all I ever wanted to do was paint, but I just perhaps didn't have the maturity to connect with that at that time. Yeah,
it's a shame in a way. I mean, do you regret not doing that?
Oh, hugely. Yeah.
It would have been interesting to see what might have come out of being at Elam.
I know, and it's tempting to even think about going there. I toy with the idea, or somewhere. Would have been really interesting to see if I'd followed my passion at that age, whether it would have, I'm sure it would have taken me down a different path. Yeah.
But, maybe that wasn't the way you were meant to go.
No. It is what it is, I guess. Yeah,
exactly. It's your journey.
Yeah.
So the spatial design, when you finished that, did that lead into a job?
No, I just went travelling. I was struggling with it. I didn't really enjoy it, and I really wanted to go travelling, so went travelling for about 2.5 years, and first place was Costa Rica, and so spent a bit of time there, and then had the 2-year work visa in the UK, so worked in a lot of jobs which were pretty uninspiring, really, and then it wasn't sort of till I came home that I made more of a commitment to myself to follow my heart. Yeah.
And that was painting.
Yeah, it took a wee while to again make that commitment. So I started painting. I started dabbling in painting, but I think I suffered from I realised along the way that I suffered from a bad case of perfectionism, which was like a creative block. So I had plenty of ideas, but I could never finish anything. So I'd sort of get towards the end and it would end up getting destroyed, like it would be painted over or sanded back, or I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I know that.
I was doing that. I did that for years and it was really frustrating. And then...
Well, it just wasn't what you wanted the final result to be, or you just felt it wasn't good enough?
Well, I didn't really realise that I had, perfectionism going on. Someone actually said it to me. They said, "Are you a perfectionist?" And I thought, no, that's not me. But when it came to my paintings, for sure, there's like visions and hallucinations, I suppose, that are going on in my mind of what I see, and then I go about making them, and it's a really different story, and so there was a level of control, I guess, that I wanted to have over the end result, and and it just never could never get there, so I would just sort of throw in the towel.
That's really fascinating, isn't it? So you think it was the work wasn't lining up with what you had in your head?
Partly that. And what would happen is I'd start off really free and loose and really enjoying myself. And then I would feel more restrained as I went along. And so as the layers get built, the freedom would get lost and my head would kick in more. And I think I knew that, and I wasn't enjoying the experience of the painting, and the work was reflective of that. So I didn't feel like it was good enough as far as what I was trying to achieve. That sort of lucidity was gone halfway along, or
And was the work then similar to what you're doing now, or is it quite different?
Probably, for sure, similar, but pretty random as well. I was sort of experimenting a lot with all sorts of things, So there's a lot of experimentation. I think when you're experimenting, there are a lot of, you sort of need to be more forgiving with yourself, as opposed to having an amazing finished piece,
It can still be amazing.
Exactly. Just enjoy it for
and let it
where you're at. The experimentation.
Yeah. So when you were working then, when you came back from travelling, was that full-time painting, or were you working another job? And
I started working another jobs. I worked in sort of with New Zealand Furniture and Interiors. I worked at a place called Eon Design Centre, and then I worked for Textilia, a fabric company. So that was one thing I had thought about, was perhaps getting into fabric design, because of perhaps the nature of the way that I paint and how I see things and the sort of textures and colours. But again, I think that was me thinking that that's how I could turn it into a career, as opposed to actually just honouring the fact that all I want to do is paint. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally do.
Yeah,
absolutely. So how did you get to the point where you were doing so much painting?
So I had my first son and Jack, and sort of started painting here and there as he got a little bit older and went to kindy. Still suffering from the challenges of not being able to finish a painting. And then Oscar came along 5 years later, and because the gap was a bit bigger than I intended, the desire to paint had just gotten out of control. And I just, I think I just pushed through the perfectionism part, and I realised that I need to just celebrate the work for what it is and where I'm at, and get it finished and put it out to show and enjoy it for what it is. And I'm not really sure at what point I allowed myself to do that. It feels like perhaps a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And the more I do that, the easier it is to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I wonder if there was a sort of catalyst that helped you over the hump.
Yeah. I think I've probably done a lot of reflecting in the last few years. Yeah, kind of bit of work on myself and trying to understand what makes me tick. Yeah,
that's great. And was it? I mean, do you find it useful to have a show or a deadline that makes forces you to have something finished?
Yeah, it's a really good thing, and not such a good thing all at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a journey, because I think the more I do it, the more I make friends with it. Yeah. I need that to finish work, but it can sometimes add to the restraints, that I have. So I'm searching for that perfect balance.
Yeah, which I'm not sure exists, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So for the listeners who don't know your work, I mean, obviously you can see your work on your website and on Instagram and on our blog. So we've got all the links for your work on the blog and some images.
Yeah.
But for somebody who hasn't seen your work, can you describe was there a way of describing what your work is like?
Good question. Yeah. I see it as, it's definitely an abstract artwork, which is very, like a very sort of strong response to colour and texture. Well, that's what it is for me. And so there tends to be a fair bit of movement. I guess and it's about the layering, really. So, I'm heavily inspired by this environment that we live in out here in Muriwai, and that's why I moved here. I love this West Coast energy, and it's just absolutely breathtaking. So again, it's like being that kid that was in the garden, but I'm an adult out here. However, I think I need to slow down a little bit out here and not be running through it. So I've been getting into running, and I think now it's time to just maybe, sit and be in it a bit more. Life just gets a little bit busy, and I think that's where I'm at with my work as well.
And can you tell us about the kind of mark making and the way you use paint? Yeah,
I love using paint as a medium. It's just, I find it really organic in its nature, and I love playing with it and seeing what it can do. And it's just, I've learned a lot through teaching myself how to create the sort of layers that I'm trying to create. I guess that's how I see things when I'm out and about. I just sort of see layers and textures and colours, and I have to respond to that, and so I've been playing around a lot with diluting paint to get the translucency that I'm looking for, and then, working on thicker layers and smearing the paint or scraping the paint, cutting back into the paint, yeah.
And what paint is it? Acrylic or?
Acrylic, yeah.
And using water or mediums?
No, just water, yeah. I've tried using a little bit of mediums, but water's just sort of become my friend, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
And do you use ink as well?
Oh, yeah, love ink, yeah.
With your marking, so a lot of your markings are with ink as well?
Yeah, ink and pencil and acrylic, and I'd love to have a play around with some different mediums, but I feel like I'm just really getting to know, the acrylic that I have at the moment. I have a black gesso, which I really love using, and it separates beautifully when it's diluted in the right way. And also some of the acrylic paints, I just love, once you dilute them, you often see, the different colours that are going on. So I think I'm enjoying seeing them all sort of mixed together and trying to let the paint sort of take charge instead of, have too much control over it. Yeah.
Which is good for you, isn't it? I suppose, to let that happen.
Yeah.
Without controlling it too much.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, trying to control something like, I basically want to have a completely intuitive response and not really have any control over the work, but I feel like that's it's sort of a long journey, Yeah.
That might come later.
That's what I'm striving for. That's what makes me hungry to paint. Yeah.
Cool. And the black gesso, is that you use that like paint, not as a sort of initial...
Oh, it's like paint, yeah.
Oh, wow. So does that feel quite different to acrylic? I've never
it just
like
behaves differently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And do you work hard making the exact colour that's in your head?
Yes, yeah. However, I do love some of the colours that present themselves once you've let them blend, and sort of again, it's that balance between letting it go and having a bit of control over it. Sometimes I might heavily dilute a mark and that needs a whole day to dry, and it starts to shoot off the side and you have to bring it back. So sometimes I have to sort of wedge up one side to try and keep it in place. And so there's an element of control over the organicness of the running paint.
The bloody paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, is your work actually responding to a particular thing that you've seen, that you've photographed or that you've drawn?
Yes.
Or is it a combination of
stuff?
Yeah,
it's I guess I spend a lot of time collecting. So it's like I go out and I see, like a broken shell or a bit of seaweed, or just the way that the indigo is mixed with the coffee colour in the sand. And so all of these things sort of get hoarded in my brain, and I photograph them or I bring them home, and then I guess they inform my work. And it's interesting, it's all just kind of changed recently, that I then sort of go home and play around with making marks that interpret what it is that I've collected, or even a feeling that I've had when I've been down on the beach that morning. And then I've ended up actually hoarding a whole pile of marks. So I'll make a mark and, it's inspired by a broken shell, and cut it out and keep it because there's something lovely in that particular mark. But the lesson that I'm learning at the moment is that magic is in that mark, but it can't be recreated. And so what I've done is I've taken this giant pile of marks and I've thrown them away.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought you were going to say that you were sticking them onto your paintings.
Well, I started to sort of go down that road, and it's not how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
How I'm feeling is I want to move my body, and I really want to paint with movement, and I want to feel almost like I'm dancing when I'm painting. And once you get into cutout mark mode, you lose that sense of movement.
It's more measured.
It's another whole kettle of fish, and also I think, it's like it takes away from the intuitive response. There's sort of more calculation and more control in there. So I think I love it when I have a moment where I make a mark or I make a whole pile of marks and they're just free and they're more intuitive than they are sort of preconceived. Yeah.
But it's come from something real. The inspiration has come from something.
Yeah, it's all sort of collected from around here. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And is there a particular artist that inspires you as well, or is it just purely nature?
Oh, no, definitely. There's lots of artists that I've been inspired by over time. I'd say I'm just thinking of ones in the past. I used to love John Olsen. I mean, I still love John Olsen, but I loved his lineal sort of free drawing, mark making. It just used to make me really happy. But I suppose at the moment I have a real favourite artist who's Jean-Baptiste Becanson. He's French. I don't know a lot about him, but his work is just divine. Yeah.
I'll put a link to that in the
I'd
blog.
say he's like an abstract expressionist. I'm not really good with the correct titles but his work, each piece, it really feels like it comes from the gut. It comes from another place. He is what I would describe as an incredibly sophisticated, intuitive mark maker. Yeah. And I lose myself in his work. It's beautiful. Yeah.
And how does that inform your own work, do you think?
I think he's helping to inspire me to he's helping to inspire me with that in myself, which is the very thing that I am searching for, Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's lots of parallels, but it's cool when you find an artist that you can really relate to. And I believe it sounds like he's on a similar sort of journey, but he has to paint. He's sort of like a lot of painters, they have to paint, A lot of artists, they have to do what they do because, the urge is just too strong to ignore, I guess.
Yeah, it's very in there. Oh, I'm going to have to check out this guy.
Yeah.
Jean-Baptiste.
I only got introduced to him a couple of years ago. A friend showed me, and you sort of keep going back there. Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it, how you can be inspired by a person or an artist and also so much by nature. Yeah. And that sort of crosses over almost, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, when I look at a lot of his work, I see a lot of the ocean in there. And it's sort of, a lot of the time, it's like you're really deep down under the ocean. I showed my partner and he said, oh, he must be a surfer.
Really?
Because but it's very evocative. And, so I feel like my story is a little similar. Yeah. Yeah. He's a self-taught artist, I've just recently discovered, and hasn't been painting for a huge amount of time. But yeah, check it out.
Definitely will. Can't wait. And when it comes to your actual process, do you, how does your day work, or how do you run your painting?
Usually there's sort of a session down at the beach in the morning, or there's several during the week that then get sort of, the collecting goes on, it comes back. I have been starting to write more about what I see and how I feel. So it's more about the response that I'm looking for, and sometimes writing about it helps me to remove myself from the sort of literal response and like a poem, I guess. And so then drawing from the words, I get a different, it's like another it's sort of another step to taking it into my own, bringing it into my own sort of, if that makes sense. Yeah. So there's been more writing going on, and a little bit of journal work where I play around with what I've been, But what I used to do a lot of was make sort of experimental marks and collect them. And now my process has totally changed because I've ditched the marks, and I think what I want to do is not actually do any experimenting. I just want to go gung-ho straight into it. And that's quite challenging and a little bit scary when you would like to produce finished work that you're happy with, but it's what I think I need to do in order to be happy with my work.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, and you seem like you are very experimental in the way that you work. I mean, it's almost like there's sort of two sides, that you're trying to create what's in your head, but then you're also in what you're inspired by, but you're also quite interested in the materiality of what you're making and how things work together. And so, I mean, I guess it's just letting that go to get that experimental in your actual final canvas, or
for sure. And I think I actually would like to get the head right out of it. It's sort of, that's what is so inviting about painting, is that there's an opportunity for me to get out of my head and into the painting and let the painting sort of emerge. But that is the challenge. It's like a challenge. Yeah.
And do you think that you're starting to feel happier with the work?
Yeah, actually,
that you're making?
Weirdly, like I have little moments or I have one piece every now and then where I look at it and I go, oh, I'm actually okay with that one. I feel like that one, I'm happy. I'm happier than usual.
Yeah.
And it's not many, but there are more and more. And just recently, I feel like I can see myself moving more with the work, and I don't really want to play out a vision in my head or any ideas. I just want to have my response to colour and texture and let that come out of me. So just recently I've started to see that happen a little bit more, which is really cool. Yeah, so very satisfying for a change.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I wonder what creates that. Is it just you making and making and making so you get to that point, or is it something in your head? I
think it's a bit of both, for sure. I think the more you make, you can really push through things and learn a lot. But I think I can get myself a bit burnt out as well, which then turns it, you need to have breaks. You need to find time to switch off. And I find when I'm painting, I find it really hard to switch painting off. I take it to bed with me. It's like, it's all encompassing. And so, I definitely need to learn to have a better balance. But it's that obsessive kind of nature.
Yeah, I'm sure many people understand what you're talking about. It's very common, isn't it? And how do you do it when you've got young kids and a busy life and all these other things that you do? How do you manage?
Yeah, I don't know. People say to me sometimes, how do you manage to switch on creatively with, I've got a small house and kids and everything, and that's never a problem.
Switching it off is the problem.
Yeah, actually, switching it off is the problem. Yeah, so being able to then pick up the kids and switch off, and and in the evening switch off, and so that's so important, because once you get a momentum going, you're kind of in it, and it's exciting, and incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's like you've got to solve. I feel like it's a whole series of problems I have to solve, and then I'm wanting to just have a big old dance and like cut loose. Yeah.
I love it. I think you should film yourself, actually. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, how do you find it when you want to be painting and you've got that momentum, but you need to be doing something, reading the kids a story, or do you sometimes just kind of sneak away and carry on? Or
there's definitely been sneak away moments, but I'd rather, I think it's better for myself and for everyone if I just actually learn to shut it off, So yeah, that's where I'm at now.
But you're full-time painting?
Oh, pretty much. I mean, I put Oscar into an extra day at kindy, and so that gives me, I guess, 4 days, but they're not full days because you're still a mum and you're still picking the kids up and dropping them off and doing all the, house stuff. So it is important to then switch off from that when you're working from home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Have you considered getting a studio?
I have. Yeah, that would be great. And the only problem is that, this might be the perfect answer. I can't sneak away.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a really good thing, yeah. No, but sometimes something's drying and I need to just do like a little something. And so that would to sort of take that freedom away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a balance, isn't it? I mean, there's good things and bad things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
so
when the kids are older.
Well, we're talking about putting a studio out the back. So, so I'm sure I'll have my own space eventually, but ideally, on the property. We'll see, who knows. Yeah.
And your work is very well received. I'm really interested to know how you find that, when you sort of have that slight perfectionism going on and wanting to get a certain result. How do you find it when people love all the work that you're making?
Oh, that's really nice that you say that. And I have been feeling really grateful about that lately, that I feel that it helps to, my work being well received is giving me the opportunity to keep painting and sort of take it further. I absolutely love seeing people get joy from my work, and they all get something different out of it. And it really surprises me sometimes, the things that I hear people say. And that is one of the biggest rewards. But to be honest, the perfectionism sort of sits in me. It's sort of more, once it's gone, and I can let go of it. Yeah. And I'm definitely learning to just look at the work and go, that's where I was at in that moment. And, it's kind of quite lovely reflecting on it.
Well, that's good. That's a good place to be.
Yeah. It took me a while to just, that's a very recent thing.
That's great.
Yeah.
So where to from here when it comes to selling your work, do you think?
Good question. I'm really not too sure. I'm sort of focusing on doing the work. This is, there's a lot. I have a website which my partner Steve kindly made for me quite some time ago. Gave it to me as a birthday present.
Nice.
Which is so lovely to have that support.
Yeah, that's great.
And so I just have to really get work on there. So I've been working on a body of work that I can draw from, and then, now that COVID's sort of potentially under more control and we can have more shows, then now I will commit to more shows. But I've been hesitant to do so, because I don't want to put that pressure on my family or myself. And I feel like as I get into more of a flow, I'm better at producing work. So it's sort of just about finding that flow, and then when I'm in that, I think I might be able to commit to more. Yeah.
Are you connected to, is it art form?
Yeah, art form
gallery?
And Matakana have been really supportive, and they are another great place for supporting New Zealand artists. It's been lovely being part of that. And Muriwai Arts, which is coming up soon, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I might go in a couple of the school shows. I'm not really sure. I've talked about the odd show with somebody, but I'm just a bit hesitant to sort of launch into too much and then, just cause myself a bit too much stress, I think.
Yeah. Well, you've got to get that sort of the whole balance right, don't you? And it's awesome that you're making. You've got lots of ideas, haven't you, and inspiration at the moment. Yeah. That's always there. Yeah, the inspiration's always there.
Which
is great, really. Some people don't have that. Yeah. Oh, a fascinating story. Anything else you want to say about your practice or process?
I think something I read a letter from my father, passed away nearly 10 years ago, and I read a letter that he wrote to me before he died, and we were very close, and it said, if I could give you one piece of advice, it would be to do what you love and do it now. So, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it?
Mm.
Wow. Yeah.
I guess without realizing it, I've gone about doing that.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
a gift that he's given you.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
And it's so nice that you're kind of bringing him into your work.
Yeah, I
almost.
just sort of joined the dots. I read the letter for the first time the other day, and I thought, oh, that's
was
so
the
cool,
beginning.
so cool. Yeah.
How amazing. And he must have known that you had it in you and you just needed someone to kind of nudge you over the line.
He sort of talked about that a bit in the letter. I was very lucky that he was able to write me a big letter before he passed away.
That's so beautiful.
That doesn't always happen, for people. Yeah, something to hold on to and cherish.
You'll treasure that forever.
Mm.
Oh, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
it's really special. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, just moving on.
Yeah.
Have you got any ideas about working with one particular gallery? Do you like that sort of idea, or is that something that's sort of not so interesting for you, or that sort of in the future?
Maybe in the future. I'm not really thinking about that. I feel like I have quite a bit to learn within my own work, and that sort of stuff is to come. Perhaps just for me, it's about getting a better sort of balance with switching off and getting a good momentum on the work side of things, getting a body of work together, and then maybe assessing things from there. Yeah. I would love to be able to keep practicing and pursuing my art journey. I mean, I sort of don't feel like I have a choice, and
just see where that takes
so
you.
Lucky that I have this opportunity to be able to do it. That my family support me, that my partner supports me. So I just want to go for it. But I have thought about looking at doing art therapy at some point. Yeah, studying art therapy, but who knows? Or going to art school.
That would be so interesting.
It would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Part of me is a bit hesitant to go there. Yeah. Because I don't know. I sort of feel like I'm starting to get a bit of my own momentum, but I could do with some help.
Yeah. But what? I mean, imagine if it was like the old days at school where people were saying, oh, you can't do that.
Well, that's what I'm scared of. Yeah. So
that's quite terrifying.
I actually wanted to be an art teacher for a while, and then I remembered the requirements and the curriculum that you had for, and I was like, oh, there's no way I'd be able to handle that. Yeah.
You'd probably make amazing artists, but maybe not people who pass.
I'd be pushing them to fail probably.
Well, in that area, but probably not in other ways.
Yeah, and that's why I don't know. I'd love to be able to help people, connect with that in themselves. There's a lot of people that were turned off from art at a young age. They were made to believe that they were no good, and it's just so sad, They've never got to explore their creativity, and there's so much joy to be had there.
Yeah, there really is.
I mean, all about that. Yeah.
And even just, living a life where creativity is part of you opens you up to so many other things, even just, I've talked about this with another guest, just how observant you are with the things around you. Yeah. It's like a gift.
Yes.
Whereas some people just don't notice anything; they're just running through their lives.
Yeah,
and I think that's a real treasure for artists.
It sort of changes the way
creative people.
The way you see things, and anyone can have that. They can. Doesn't matter. They can just have a go and change the way that they see things. I had a friend who bought a painting, who didn't see the beach or in the same way, and then bought a painting and said that they now see things that they never even paid attention to before, inspired by a painting that was just the best thing to ever hear.
That's a great thing to get out of your paintings.
Yeah.
So what, with the art therapy, would you like to work with people, getting them creative to help them sort of in their lives? Or what
I don't really know exactly what art therapy, I don't know whether it's to help people with who are having difficulties, to what degree. or what areas you get into with your art therapy, but I just have a need to help, especially adults, I think, get some joy from being creative, but also in a kind of a more of a personal kind of healing sort of way, because that's what I think it is for me. It's a very personal journey, and it is about working through my own difficulties and insecurities and self-doubt, and and then like for example, learning to put my work out there and not destroy the painting.
Well, you've been through that journey, haven't you? So, and I think you'd have so much to offer. You'd be really good at that.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
That's something to, store away for the future.
It's in the back of my mind for sure. Yeah,
it's lovely.
Yeah,
very cool. Well, I think that we can just get on to some of our other final questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much for sharing. It's so interesting to hear about your process.
Thanks. Yeah, honestly, thank you so much. Like, this is such a cool opportunity. Yeah.
Oh, good.
And I love how you're supporting the art community.
Thank you. So we've kind of talked about what's in the future for you already. I'd like to know what you do in your spare time, Catrina. Do you have any spare time?
Now that I've finished a deadline, I can chill out a bit more, so that's good. I like to surf. I'm not very good, but I feel like surfing and painting's really has got the same sort of calling, and I'm just So I like to surf, but I don't do it enough. So I'd like to surf more, a lot more. I run. And I go for the occasional walk. I used to walk, and now I just have to run.
Wow.
I love catching up with friends, really good friends, and having a good old yarn and a laugh. I love eating. And
That's a good thing.
I would love to go out and go out for dinner more. But I guess living out here, you sort of can't sort of, it's a bit of a mish, really.
Coming back,
but
driving.
And I love so many things. I love trying new things, but I think life has been full, and I'd like to create space for some more things. New adventures.
I feel like there's lots coming your way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, not that I'm a mind reader. Or anything,
that sounds great.
And it would be interesting to know if you have any advice for people starting out on their creative journey.
Oh, well, to be kind to themselves. Yeah. Just to allow themselves to play and be brave, and just sort of accept where you're at and just keep working through it, because it is a really big journey, and just, enjoy the process. Be in the moment, as cliche as it sounds.
Love it.
Yeah.
And what do you love most about what you do?
Tricky
question. And Catrina didn't have this before, so it's totally off the cuff, which is what I like.
I just love it when you get the brush and you put it in the paint, and you spread it across the canvas. Like, it's very tactile. It's like a real turn on,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So good.
It's like, it's an overwhelmingly good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good answer. Very cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm a bit lost for words. It's not really sexual innuendo, exactly.
I just couldn't think of the right.
I know what you mean.
You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. It's totally inspiring. What's your favourite place in New Zealand, and why?
Oh, Great Barrier Island. That place is just magic, I reckon. Yeah, just something about it. It's just, takes my breath away. And my father grew up there for the first 10 years of his life. So there's that connection as well. But it's just definitely my favourite place. Yeah. Have you been there?
I've only sailed there, so I've spent time in the bays, but I've never really been. I mean, I've walked up from the bays, but never spent time on the island or on the beaches so much.
Beaches are amazing.
Yeah, I don't think I've been over the other side where the beaches are.
Yeah.
I need to go.
It's like an island that feels like it's got all these sort of little different snippets of other countries all piled into the one island. Yeah.
And it's pretty remote, isn't it?
Yeah, that's another great thing. You sort of feel like you get away. Yeah.
It hasn't really been affected.
Mm.
But, I mean, it must have been very quiet when your dad was there.
Oh, yeah. With my nana, they had they don't have any power there now. Yeah. And my grandfather worked as the ranger on the island. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So there's no power on the island?
No. Well, they use generators. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have to get there by plane?
Ferry or plane,
boat?
yeah. Yeah.
So that's a good thing for keeping it remote.
The boat ride's pretty challenging.
Yeah, it can be rough. Can be really rough. And west coast of New Zealand or east coast?
West.
West is best.
Can't help it. I think it helps to blow air into my brain or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the East Coast, and especially up north. But I guess I have a pull to be here, and it is. Yeah. I mean, we're so lucky. It's just amazing everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very special place.
Very different energies on each side. Yeah.
Yeah. And just getting that sense of weather, bad or good, it's very powerful, isn't it, in this place? Yeah. Oh, well, Catrina, we're going to wrap that up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love your work, as you know, and I was hoping to get one for my birthday this year, but that didn't quite happen. I'm really hoping that George is on to my birthday presents.
One day.
There's another option.
Yeah.
But
no pressure, George.
And I love your work, and and hearing the sort of depth that goes on behind it is really interesting for me and quite moving. And I think for other people, seeing your work, if they listen to this podcast, will have a whole other appreciation for your work because of the process and the inspiration and the ideas that go through you.
I mean, I find that when I listen to the other artists, it adds a whole new dimension to looking and receiving their work.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it just sort of has. Even if you don't actually connect with the work, it helps you to connect in a different way.
Yeah, you have a different appreciation. Yeah,
which is important.
Yeah.
So thank you for squeezing us into your busy schedule, and I hope you have a good night's sleep tonight.
Yeah. Yes. Thanks. Got to switch off, eh?
Yeah, it's not always easy, but it's been lovely chatting. Thanks, Catrina.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Mandy.
Thank you.
Cool.